On a bitterly cold morning, a man spotted a heartbreaking sight outside his home: a German shepherd, trembling from the cold, huddled close to two tiny puppies. Their fur was dusted with frost, and their eyes spoke of fear and exhaustion. It was clear they had been abandoned, left to fend for themselves against the cruel elements. The man hesitated for only a moment. He knew that opening his door would change everything, not just for the desperate animals, but for himself as well. With a deep breath, he stepped outside, speaking gently to the frightened mother. At first, the shepherd flinched, unsure whether she could trust another human. But the man remained patient, offering warmth, food, and kindness. Slowly, the little family allowed him closer. One by one, he carried them into his home, wrapping them in blankets and offering them the safety they had been denied. Over time, the mother and her pups began to heal, their once fearful eyes shining with gratitude and love. That simple, compassionate choice to open the door didn't just save their lives. It created a bond stronger than anyone could have imagined, proving that sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can lead to the most extraordinary transformations. In the biting chill of early morning, a German shepherd stood frozen on a deserted street, her two tiny puppies pressed close against her for warmth. Hungry, exhausted, and terrified, she watched as cars passed by, none stopping to help. Her once bright eyes were now dulled with fear and sadness. Inside a nearby house, a man noticed the shivering figures through his window. His heart clenched at the sight. Without a second thought, he grabbed a blanket and stepped outside. As he approached, the mother instinctively shielded her puppies, unsure whether this stranger meant harm or hope. Speaking softly, the man knelt down, offering her a piece of food and a safe, open hand. Slowly, the German shepherd relaxed, sensing his gentle spirit. Trusting her instincts one last time, she allowed him to gather her and her babies into his arms. Inside the warmth of his home, the little family found comfort, food, and a second chance at life. Over the coming days, their fear melted away, replaced with playful energy and tail wags. One act of kindness had changed everything. For the first time in what felt like forever, the German shepherd and her pups had found what they needed most: hope, love, and a home. On a frigid winter morning, while taking out the trash, a man noticed a heartbreaking scene near the edge of his yard. A German shepherd, her body trembling from the cold, was curled protectively around two tiny, whimpering puppies. Their fur was matted with ice, and the look in the mother's eyes was one of pure desperation. Without hesitation, the man rushed inside to grab blankets and food. He approached slowly, not wanting to frighten them further. The mother growled weakly at first, trying to shield her babies, but exhaustion won over fear. She could barely lift her head. Speaking in a soft, reassuring voice, the man knelt down, wrapping the little family in warmth. Carefully, he carried them into his home, setting up a cozy bed near the fireplace. He gave them food, water, and most importantly, safety. In the days that followed, the mother's wary gaze softened, and the puppies began to play, their tiny tails wagging with new energy. The man, once a stranger, had become their hero. One small act of compassion had saved 3 precious lives, and in return, filled his home with a love he never knew was missing. The winter wind howled mercilessly as a German shepherd stood shivering on a lonely street, her frail body shielding 2 tiny puppies clinging to her side. With nowhere to go and no one to turn to, she had given up hope. Every sound made her flinch, every step grew heavier. She was fighting not just for herself, but for the little lives depending on her. Inside a nearby house, a man caught a glimpse of the heartbreaking scene through his frosted window. His heart tightened. Without thinking twice, he opened his door and stepped out into the freezing air. The mother dog froze, unsure whether to flee or stay. Her instincts urged her to protect her young, but the man's gentle voice and outstretched hands told a different story, one of safety, not harm. With patience and care, he led them inside, wrapping them in blankets and offering food and warmth. In the glow of the firelight, the terrified family slowly began to trust again. That simple decision, to open a door, became a turning point. It saved a life. It created a family. And it proved that sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can rescue even the most broken spirits.